Hi, I forgot my tripod, but I wanted to do this for Instagram. Let's see if this works. Works. We'll work with this. I'll back up a little. Today, I have a lot of things going on. I have about 150 ingredients out on the counter. I don't have any music on, which I'll fix at some point. And I'm gonna make a salad. What's the main thing going on here? Well, I have this huge loaf of pain de mie from Bien Cuit that I just took out of the freezer last night so I can eat BLTs and tomato sandwiches. And I thought, you know what would be very delicious? A French style cute crouton. I don't know if it's really French style, but what it is a buttery crouton. And this bread will be perfect for it. I sliced these thicker than I was going to, but it's fine. I'm gonna take the crusts off. This piece has a little extra thing going on, so I'm gonna eat it. This isn't the best, but I'll bring my equipment next time. I'm in Brooklyn. I went to the co-op, and the truth is, it's the most efficient COVID safety setup of anywhere I've gone. I also got my first COVID test today because I've mostly been upstate. And let me tell you, that feels really weird. I feel like it went into my brain. And I don't know, maybe it did something good. I'm just cutting these into cubes. Not too big, not too small. Right in the middle. My dog's back there eating a bone. So I got my COVID test today. Went to the co-op. The co-op's so organized. There's a long line, but it's worth it. And they had some really incredible things. They had fresh barhi dates. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I've never seen them fresh outside of California, so I was excited. So this is too many for one person, but you know what? We'll save some and I'll utilize them tomorrow in some other way. Oh, it smells so good. I really wish you could smell it. If you were to smell butter and flour cooking in any way, it would smell the same way. Now, I mean, there's probably something you could do with these, like make breadcrumbs. Would you be happier if I just put them to the side? Or just put them in there? I have a lot of snacks out because I'm hungry. I love olives, and that's what I'm eating. And all this bread. It's been a while since I made a video, but believe it or not, I was just living my life in other ways. And I don't know if I've made that many salads. I think I've just been eating tomatoes and cucumbers. Okay. So I'm going to toast these in a pan with butter. Now, I think I've said this before, but right now, Kate's is really my favorite butter. I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon, which I do not think is enough, but it seems like too much to have 2. Let's just do it. I'm not eating them all today. Ina would say, how bad could that be? Ina's gonna call my friend Dylan on the phone. I'm waiting anxiously for that to happen. All right, I'll bring you over here for a second. Oopsie. I paused it for a minute. This just isn't the best setup. What can I do? There we go. I'm gonna put it on my pepper thing. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on not too high. It's definitely gonna catch that corn on fire. Oh, this is a weird angle. It's okay. I'm really all over the place today, huh? Well, I can tell you that next weekend I'll finally get my motorcycle license, hopefully. Daniel is superstitious and doesn't think that I should talk about things like that before they happen or post them on Instagram. I watched this movie Spree last night. It was really sick and twisted. It involves social media and a serial killer. I think that during COVID I've run out of serial killer content to watch, so what does that mean about me? I'm into cult stuff now too. The Nexium documentary. It's pretty good. I have on my Block Shop new Block Shop thing. I don't usually wear it here. I usually wear it on my head, but couldn't get my act together today. Okay, so the goal with these pan toasted croutons, this is too much butter for now. I'm just removing it. We don't want them to be soggy. They're just gonna get nice and toasty golden brown. And this bread is already so buttery. I don't know. Now I'm gonna add that butter back. It's just going to be good. Is this a panzanella? I'm not sure. Why not? There's gonna be quite a bit of bread. I love a panzanella. I haven't had enough this summer. I don't know why. I think it's because of all that sourdough in the beginning of COVID. I'm gonna just complain about how bad my COVID test felt for a while, for a couple days. Oh, see, that's getting nice. Nice and golden and toasty. Yeah, so I've been busy. I've been working on my newsletter. Hopefully you've signed up. If not, you can. The link is in my bio. Oh, I have to turn this down a little bit. And I feel like time has gotten away from me this summer. It seems like it came and went. But the good news is that there's still some tomatoes left. So just enjoy them while you can. I really try not to eat tomatoes when they're not available anymore locally. When they're not in season, it's just not worth it. Just get some from a can and use them in tomato sauce. Don't use the other ones if you can avoid it. They don't taste good. You really want these to be nice and golden on every side. It's a little annoying, but it's worth it. Couldn't you just do this in the oven, you might ask? Yeah, probably, but this is how we did it in culinary school. I didn't pay all that money for nothing. I learned how to make pan croutons. The time I didn't learn very well. They're a mess. You really want them light, not so. Oh, you can't see anything I'm doing. Well, that's got to change. I don't know what I'm doing. There. Look, we're 10 minutes into it and all I've done is cook some bread. I guess I could have started to do something else, but oops. My return to video after a few weeks is, I'm rusty. Okay, so these are going. I'm feeling pretty good about them. They, if you have smaller tongs, if you want to be a total freak, you can really just make sure every side is toasted. Oh, it smells divine. I have low energy. I was going to get a kombucha, but it had like 12 grams of sugar in it. which is more than usual. I thought it was watermelon flavored. Maybe that's why. I love kombucha. Okay, so do you want to know what else is going to be in this salad while this slowly toasts? Let's talk about it. Let's go back over here. Sorry there's no music. I'll apologize again. Okay, so I'm going to clean up these crumbs. And the first thing I'm going to add is corn. And I'm going to cut up all of my vegetables first. And then I'm going to, I'm going to add shrimp. I don't know if you know this. That's one of my snacks. But I love shrimp. Probably more than almost any other food except white grapefruit. And I don't know what else. But I really love shrimp. And the other day I was a real pig. I went home to Shelter Island. This piece of corn isn't very good, but we're gonna use it anyway. I don't know, it's really shriveled up. I'm gonna set it aside in this giant pile of stuff. I went home and maybe I could go to the side again. I should have tested this out first. Ooh, that looks cool. Why is it doing that? It's my finger. That's not any better. Maybe? No, but we'll go with it because we're here now. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to the original position. What am I doing? Okay, so you can see all my stuff that I have up here. Okay, now that I'm back and talking about shrimp, there are a lot of tips for doing what I'm doing, but I kind of feel like it's more dangerous to do some of them than it is to just suck it up. Just cut it with a sharp knife, and you might have a few pieces go all over the place. You might not. And whatever, it's just corn. Okay, so that's the first thing. I need to get something that I didn't get, which is a Fresno chili from my garden. Fresno chilies are my absolute favorite chili. So here you go, a lot of favorites happening tonight. So I'm gonna slice this. I'm not making a ton, so I don't know. I'm gonna use half and it will probably set my mouth on fire. Very thinly sliced. And I made a mistake, and it turns out garlic doesn't last forever, which I really thought it did. And I have garlic like from a farm that I got last year, and I thought it'd be fine, but a year is a long time. Why did it take me so long to use it? I was holding on to it. I was waiting. I didn't want to use it up. And now it's wasted. I really can't get over, I have to be honest, I was looking for a title for a project that I'm working on, and I was looking through all my meditation books, waiting for something to pop out at me, and I was looking at my copy of Be Here Now, and read something about surrendering the taste trip when you make food, because having an attachment to that experience, having expectations of what it's going to taste like, indulging yourself is if you know what it's going to be and it's going to be bland, then you won't, you'll be surprised if it's something else, I guess. I don't know how I feel about that, but I like the idea. I like surrendering to the taste trip. I like that. Okay, so these are delicious. You just had to make sure. I'm gonna put them in a bowl. I'm gonna do everything in the same pan. I'm gonna wipe it out a little bit because there's little burnt bits on the bottom. I guess I'm not gonna necessarily, yeah, I am gonna cook the corn first. So I'm gonna do a little bit of olive oil. I don't wanna go crazy because I feel like there's a lot of stuff happening. Maybe I can go, I really need a different setup here. Oops. I don't know, guys. Well, what did I do before? Surrendering. Okay. I'm gonna put this on medium. And I'm going to put, something's burning, but I think it's just on the bottom of the pan. Just like that really, realistically is about a tablespoon. And I have this little bit of onion, which I'd prefer to be garlic, but that's what we have. And I want to get a little color. Now, I'm using a Fresno chili from my garden, but Fresno chilies aren't always the easiest thing to find. Now is when you'll find them, if you're going to ever find them. So look for it, but if you can't find it, just use a little chili flake or a little jalapeno. I like the fruitiness of the Fresno chili. And if a little color got on these guys, I wouldn't be mad about it. I feel exhausted all of a sudden. Most likely it's dehydration. Now we still haven't even talked about the shrimp really yet. I'm going to show you how to peel it and devein it, because I think that's probably what stops people from eating shrimp. They don't want to do it. But it's not so bad. It isn't. And shrimp are so good. Shrimp cocktail really is the best food. I didn't think it was possible to be full of shrimp, but it is. One time I had shrimp twice in a day in many different forms in Ventura, California. It was just too much. I added the corn. Now a little salt. And this is why I was being stingy with the oil, because there's nothing other than shrimp cocktail that tastes better than corn and butter. Corn and oil is okay, but it's not corn and butter. So go ahead, treat yourself. I'm gonna let that kind of do its thing for a second while I take care of these shrimp. I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on it though, so don't think that I'm not. I feel like I really need the music to carry me. I'm even bored with myself, which I really thought I had figured out during this whole thing. Okay, so these are shrimp. These are beautiful, fresh shrimp. And you might see here that the shrimp say 1620. Why? What do the numbers mean? That means that there's 16 to 20 shrimp per pound. So there's all different kinds of shrimp. And this is like this is an average size, I would say. So when you see that on a bag, also frozen shrimp, totally fine. Better if you're just cooking for one. I'm gonna save myself half of these. This is a pound of shrimp, and I'm going to eat shrimp cocktail tomorrow for lunch. I have phone calls all day, and I'll just, the pepper, I'll just be sitting here eating shrimp cocktail and talking on the phone. What could be better than that? Eating them on the beach with melon balls. So what I'm doing here is peeling off the skin, leaving the tail. You don't have to leave the tail. I like to leave the tail because it's beautiful. And obviously you can buy peeled and deveined shrimp. It's fine, it's even easier. But it's really not that bad. It took me longer to make the croutons than it is to peel. Ooh! I dropped one. I'm gonna feed that one to River later. I think he likes shrimp. He mostly likes garbage. I don't know why I have that up there so you can't see. It's not that exciting. I like to do it to a certain extent. Does anybody have any serial killer or cult shows that they'd recommend? Maybe the new Nexium one is out. It's a good thing Nexium shut down because I am living upstate, not so far away from it, and I think they could pretty easily get me. It's like a therapy cult. What's so bad about that? I don't even think I have a normal paring knife here. It might not be true, but it might be. Which knife would be better to use? Nobody's gonna like this, but it's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna get closer for this. What you wanna do is you wanna take your sharp paring knife and you just cut a little line from the tail to the head. And you just want to remove this like line, and then you just wipe it onto the paper towel. That's how I like to do it. And these are pretty clean shrimp. I hope it doesn't gross you out to do it because it really is, they're really good. And if you simply can't stand it, then get ones that are already prepared. But they're animals. Bugs. Sea bugs. Is that what shrimp are called, or is that lobsters? After I ate my pound of shrimp the other day, I had a lobster roll too. It wasn't that good. Sometimes I think I might like crab better, but I like it. Do you like that I'm standing cockeyed so that you can see me? I'll figure this out next time. Well, this video's long because we're not even done cooking, not even close. But it's real time, so if it takes a half, 35 minutes to make it, start to finish, everybody has time to do that, right? If you have time to watch me do it, you certainly have time to do it. Okay, so those are our shrimp today. That's a half pound. And then here, what I have is a little dried chorizo. Now, I thought that this was going to be a little too much, but I'm just going to do it. I have it. Boy, it's really wrapped up and really sealed. I have a new organizer thing on my kitchen wall. I did this week what most people who stayed in their houses did in the first week of COVID, which is I created new organizational systems and threw away everything. Okay, so I'm going to, I know I just keep saying this, but I just don't need a lot of this. I'm going to cut like 3 slices, and I'm going to cut them into quarters. I'm going to do it all the way in the corner of my cutting board so you can't see. And you could really even go smaller than that. So what I want from this is the fat and the flavor. Isn't that all you ever want from anything when you're cooking? I don't know. The flavor of chorizo, it's a lot of smoked paprika, which I had some from Burlap and Barrel, but I left it in Bovina. Okay. So I'm adding my corn mixture to this bowl, turning the heat back on. There, maybe I finally have figured it out now that I'm done. Just a hint of oil, really and truly. Whisper. And add that chorizo. And once it starts to crisp up and sweat its red, oily juice, then we'll add the shrimp. I feel like I probably look sad, but I'm not sad, I'm just tired. I stayed up late last night writing a letter to the New York Times because there was an article about the Shelter Island ferries. And the Shelter Island is where I grew up, and this article was about how much trouble, the financial trouble the ferries are in because of COVID. And the article was really well done. It was really, they had some nice quotes. I felt like they got it right. But the comment section really was not nice. Those New York Times commenters, they're funny when they're talking about recipes, but they sure aren't when they're talking about ferry fare, it turns out. Everybody was saying in the comments, oh, this is so obvious. Why is anybody even talking about this? You just have to make islanders, full-time residents, pay full price for ferriage. And I think that's a shitty idea. And I think that for a lot of reasons. Mostly because it's already becoming a pretty impossible place for the average person to live there. And, it's a summer community. It's right near the Hamptons. There are giant houses and just, complete craziness. I remember growing up, it was like $14 for a Corona. and I thought that was totally normal. I was really pleasantly surprised when I got to college. And so it's crazy. There's extreme wealth, but there's also people who have been hit really hard by COVID and certainly cannot afford to pay $20 per trip back and forth because of, you know, maybe their jobs are off island. My mom commuted for 32 years, 5 days a week. I had to commute every day to school. And when I was a teenager, and I tried to steal my parents' commuter pass all the time. But anyway, it made me think, you know, I think I've spent a lot of time feeling, when you grow up in a place like that, where there's huge disparities in wealth, if you're not on the good side of it, it can feel bad. And I've always had a bit of a complex about it, but it made me really appreciate all the local character that the island has to offer. And I was saddened to think of the people who make the island so special being pushed out. It's really sad what is happening to so many small businesses right now. You can't see any of these shrimp, so you've just been looking at me looking sad. How has that been? So you want to leave these a little longer than I'm letting them just sit, because you just want them to sear. You want them to get a little brown, a little crisp around it, and just cooked through. An overcooked shrimp is bad and an undercooked shrimp is bad. But don't be scared, because of any sort of seafood, I think they're probably the easiest to cook and the easiest to tell when they're done or not done. Because you can look right through the middle and you can really see they'll be fully opaque when they're ready. They're such a beautiful, can you think of a more beautiful color than the color of shrimp? It's not yellow, but I love it. I just love it. Fleshy pink. It's one of my favorites. So you also just want to keep an eye on these chorizos and make sure they're not getting burnt. This chorizo didn't give off this amount of juice it usually gives off, but I never bought this brand before. It's what they had at the co-op. You know why, another reason why I like shrimp? You can cook them in your New York City apartment without the fan on if you're recording yourself. And the apartment's really not going to smell weird. It doesn't have a fishy smell. Or, I'm not going to say it. It's not a good joke anymore. Okay, so these are basically done. And you can tell also when they're done because they're firm. Just feel it. Just constantly toss them because you're impatient. I could do something else, you know, while I wait. So, I promised I had hundreds of ingredients, and it's true. Here I am with another ingredient, the zucchini. Usually I saute this when I'm already sauteing so many things, but that's not what I want today. Okay, I'm done. I'm done sauteing. I want them raw. I want them zoodled. So I'm going to use my zoodler, also known as a veggetti. And I have a handheld one. There's all different kinds, but this takes up the least amount of space, and it's really just fine. Can you see what's happening? It's making long, elegant noodles out of zucchini. I just think they're pretty. That's why I like it. And they do taste good with the right kind of sauce. It's basically all I ate when I tried to go on the Whole30. Okay, so then you're stuck with that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm going to lightly dress those with lime and olive oil. I have Mexican limes, which are the absolute best. I wonder where I was going to hang this on my new thing. You can't see it. Oh, these aren't giving off a lot of zest. But Mexican limes I love because they're sweet. They're also just called key limes here. And you probably won't find them in the grocery store, so it's really not worth talking about. But if you ever have the opportunity to have a Mexican lime or key lime, just get them. They're the best. For cocktails, for tequila, for zoodles. Okay. Little tiny bit of oil. Doesn't need much. And a little salt. Okay, now I'll arrange it. I think I need a big plate for this. How big? I'm gonna do this plate and regret it. So at the very bottom, I have some arugula from Remembrance Farm. It looks good. It's not baby arugula. And I'm not putting much. I'm only putting enough that that makes it okay to call this a salad. And I'm gonna toss it a little bit because I want it to get that nice, it's hard to call it a vinaigrette, but you know, what I made there. I wish I had taken the stems off of this arugula. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then the corn and chili mixture. And then shrimp and chorizo. I said it weird because I was going to say it with a Spanish accent, but I decided against it. Don't forget the chorizo bits. They don't look beautiful, but they taste beautiful. And these, I know I spent a lot of time making these perfect cubes, but I'm gonna tear them up a little bit. And I have some feta cheese, but I really don't think this needs it. I think that the chorizo should be salty enough. if you wanted to go crazy, you could definitely put feta, and it would not be bad. I'm gonna cut a second lime. I cut the lime with my shrimp knife, didn't I? Well, get over it. Okay, and just because, I'm gonna add a little bit of cilantro, not a lot. If you had basil, that'd be okay too. And there we go. A light, fresh, and super simple supper in 40 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like, not under this bad lighting.